All right, the mics are on. Time is 4:01. Everyone's here. I will call to order the Wednesday, December 17th, 2025 City of Battle Creek Planning Commission meeting. Can we get roll call for attendance?
Commissioner Hughes?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner Godfrey?
Here.
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Morris?
Here.
Commissioner Dennison?
Here.
Commissioner Moten is absent. Commissioner White? And Mayor Banky.
Thank you. All right, on to approval of minutes, this being the September 24th, 2025 meeting. Are there any comments or questions regarding the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that the minutes be approved as presented.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Any additions or deletions?
No additions, no deletions.
Perfect. All right, we'll now proceed to the public hearings and deliberations. We do have two on the agenda today. As a reminder to all, with public hearings, we'll hear from staff, then hear from the applicant, and then open the floor for public comment. We ask that when coming forward, you state your name and address. Once comments are completed, we'll close the public hearing. If you want to comment on something not specific to the public hearing, you will be provided time to do so later in the agenda, and we will take comments at that time. Reminder to commissioners, the role of this body today is to hold public hearings on the request, review any proposed changes, put forth a recommendation to the City Commission. Any change recommended by the Planning Commission must be approved by the City Commission. With that, we can move to our first item, this being consideration of rezoning request number PRZ 25-0006. This is a petition from the City of Battle Creek to rezone 5 parcels as listed in the agenda located south of Beckley Road along M66 from the current classification of B2 Regional Commercial District to MFR High Density Multiple Family Residential District. Staff report.
So these parcels, if you take a look at page 9, 10, and 11 of your agenda packet, on those pages you'll see an aerial photo. You'll also see the current zoning map with stars that highlight the subject properties. And then you'll also see a snippet of the land use plan map that's included in the master plan. Staff was contacted by one of the property owners on 6 Mile Road regarding his interest in potentially building a new single-family home on one of the vacant parcels on this stretch. When we took a look at it, we initially obviously noticed that it was Zone B2 Regional Commercial District, which does not permit single-family or any residential uses within it. We took a look at the aerial map to see what the other uses around it were, and immediately we could tell, obviously, that this is a single family. This stretch is generally used for single family purposes. If you take a look at your aerial, you can see it's directly to the south of the Walmart and the Steak and Shake that front onto Beckley. It's on a portion, those two are on a portion of 6 Mile Road that clearly is intended, it has the extra turn lane, it's intended for heavier commercial volumes of commercial traffic. As you go further south, you'll get to these parcels where it slims down to 2 lanes and it's intended for residential traffic. So when we took a look at the aerial map, looked at the current uses, it looked clear that when the rewrite of the zoning ordinance was done in 2020, that this area was taken from its previous ag zoning to now the B2 district. What that did, unfortunately, with the single family uses there was made them legal non-conforming at that point because that use is not permitted in the B2. So the proposed rezoning today would take these 4 parcels to the east of M66 and rezone them to MFR high density multiple family. Now high density multiple family, while it does allow for multiple family developments, also allows for 2-family and single family developments. So it would relieve these properties of their legal non-conforming status right now, and it would also allow for a single family home to be constructed on the vacant parcel that one of these property owners also owns. If you look at both the land use plan and the current zoning map, you'll see that there is multiple family zoning immediately to the south. So it forms a contiguous zoning district with the current multiple family zoning. While we were looking at this, we looked directly across the street and noticed that the Brookstone apartment complex is also zoned B2 regional commercial district. Again, B2 not permitting residential uses. Right now, that is also a legal non-conforming parcel. If you take a look at the snippet from the land use plan, it's a little bit hard to read lot lines on that, but I outlined it in yellow. You can clearly see that the intent in 2020 was to have this zoned for multiple unit residential. It looks like it was just probably an oversight during the rezoning, during the mapping process. So similar to the properties across the street, we're recommending rezoning of that to multiple family residential as well, again, to relieve that of its non-conforming status. That is the substance of what's in front of you today. If you have any questions, I can answer those.
Yeah, are there any technical or clarifying questions from any commissioner on this for staff? All right, seeing none, we'll move to public comment. Any public comment for this rezoning request, number PRZ 25-006? Please state your name and address. This is the time to share support, concerns, or suggestions. Absolutely.
Sorry, John Ballard, 6 Mile Road right there. Can you bring the other screen up? The other
This
one?
one?
Okay, the next one. Let me show you here. Anyway, where these, see where that blue is right where that red is?
Yeah,
I own that piece right there, where the cross comes into it.
okay.
When it was changed, go back here. When it was changed 4 years ago from agriculture to this, we were never notified of that it was changed. We have livestock there and crops. And we went from agriculture to this, and we were never notified about that. And I want to know why.
Okay. Are there any, that would have been during the master plan update, correct?
That would have been during the overall rewrite of the zoning ordinance and the redo of the zoning map. So, and I'd have to look at the zoning in the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, but I believe when there's, I believe it's either 11 or 12 parcels that are contiguous, proposed for a rezone, there's no requirement in there for individual notification to be sent. So basically the entire city, the entire map was redone of the entire zoning map of the entire city. So the notice is met by publication in a newspaper, general circulation in those circumstances. So that was likely what happened at that time.
With the new recommended zoning classification being MFR, is there any conflict with the existing use that was mentioned?
We'd have to take a look at what the MFR permits. Obviously, an existing use right now that's in existence is considered a legal nonconformity, so there would be there'd be no enforcement or no any attempt to end that use as long as the property owner uses it for that purpose.
So the way it's right now is illegal,
Correct.
the way it's set up?
Yep.
So if it's illegal, then it can go back to the way it was?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You can turn it back to the way it was, agriculture.
That this rezoning is not proposing to return it to the agricultural zoning district. It's proposing to align it with the zoning to the south to allow for single-family residences again, to get rid of those legal nonconformities. But if there's an agricultural use already established on your property, it's considered a legal nonconformity again. So while you would not necessarily be able to establish a new agricultural use now on the property because it's existing, the existing gets to continue, if that makes sense.
Yep. Say that one more time?
So your existing agricultural use gets
Yep.
to continue.
Okay.
So because it was existing at the time.
Right.
of the
Does my taxes change compared to what they were to what this is right now? Or it's going to?
Not based on a zoning. So zoning classifications don't impact your taxable value of your property. It's simply the use of the property that determines the taxable value of it. So the zoning district doesn't determine that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Can I ask a quick question? So one of the parcels that we are talking about zoning, MFR, used to be ag. That's what the gentleman said his current property is now. So when it gets rezoned MFR, even though the current, so just say he wanted to add more livestock, technically speaking, he couldn't do that unless it falls in alignment with the MFR zoning. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
We would have to look maybe at the specifics of what was being proposed. I don't know if that would be considered an expansion of a nonconformity or simply just a continuation of raising of livestock on the property. It may have more to do with square footage or if a portion of a new property was purchased and attempted to. So we would just have to look at that. Unfortunately, as far as the agricultural uses go, like what I had said earlier, it was all, this entire area was zoned ag prior to 2020. However, the master plan classified these, the parcels to the south of this as MFR, and that's how they're zoned today. So if we attempted to rezone this to agricultural, it could definitely be viewed as a spot zoning, given the fact that there's no other agricultural zoning anywhere in this area anymore. And it certainly wouldn't create any kind of a continuation of agricultural zoning. So that'd be the concern with attempting to zone it in that fashion right now.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Can you just quickly go back to the land use and state what the land use plan says?
So the current land use plan has the properties to the east of M66 classified as regional commercial. I don't necessarily know why those were classified in that way, given the existing uses on the properties and given the fact that really, obviously, there's no individual access there to M66. And 6 Mile Road, again, as you continue south on it, clearly is not intended for heavy commercial traffic. It's an area that's been historically used for single-family and agricultural type purposes. As a result, I think just, again, in speaking with one of the property owners, obviously, the existing uses there don't necessarily align with what the land use plan laid out. I don't know exactly why that was at that point,
Right.
But this is an attempt to bring these properties either into full conformance with the zoning ordinance, so not burdening them with any kind of non-conforming status, and allowing them then on a vacant parcel to be able to construct a single-family residence. So, and then additionally, the parcel to the west of M66 was intended to be zoned multiple family. And again, it may have just been some sort of a mapping error at the time that the zoning ordinance was redone.
Did you have another question, sir?
Yes. So if mine's the bottom one there, I'm the last guy in it, I don't know what it would affect if I just stayed agriculture like it is. I guess if it's illegal, that's where I am right now, so it's agriculture right now, and I would like to keep mine that way. In case I ever do want to add a different type of livestock or something, or a different crop or something, he said we could visit that later, that if that came up, but if it goes through, it'll never happen.
So you're
They'll never change that back.
Your understanding is your property is zoned ag currently.
Yes, because the way that it was changed now, way they have it right now is illegal. At least that's what he said, because it wasn't zoned properly. And on top of that, they never let us know they were even changing it.
So what it's zoned now, it's not an illegal use, it's not a new use that would be permitted.
I was
but
just
it's-
using your word you said a second ago.
Oh, yeah, so I apologize. What I intended to say was that it's a legal nonconformity, meaning it's nonconforming, it's not a use that we would be able to approve brand new today, but because it existed at the time that the rezoning was done, it's considered a legal nonconformity, meaning it still has its legal status. It's not,
So there's no issue with you and your existing use under
Right.
the zoning?
So if I want to change it to something, if we want to put different livestock there than what we have right now, how do I know that's going to happen on your end?
So Marcel, is there any way you can provide input on the legal non-conforming aspect in this regard?
Yes, the existing use may continue on a legal, non-conforming parcel. It appears the existing use is agriculture. That may continue, whether it's one kind of an agriculture or not, another. There may be issues with that separate from the zoning itself, but if you wanted to switch the parcel to, I don't know, a transportation center, say, that would be a problem. That would be a change of use. You're talking, or as I understand the request, nuances within that use of agriculture are generally not going to be a problem, but if there's something specific that the property owner would have a concern with, he would want to talk to Mr. Sullivan and make sure he doesn't run afoul of that.
Yeah.
Is there a way for the city to provide something in writing that actually outlines all of this? So, especially given the change, and I hear you saying you weren't notified. I hear you also saying that when we do a master, just all the engagement we've done around the master plan and the zoning and all of that. But is there something that at least, provides a little bit more detail about kind of, what is allowable, not allowable, that can be provided in writing?
we can look into that. I can work with my supervisor and work with the city attorney's office to make sure then that we cover any of the concerns that the property owner may have right now about their current use, so.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about, going into a lot of detail, but more so laying out just essentially what we're talking about today, what the zoning was, what legal non-conforming means. I mean, actually explaining it in writing so that, property owners know exactly what they're responsible for, what they can and cannot do, especially with the more recent changes.
Yep, we can do that. Did you want us to, is the intent of that basically for us just to issue a letter to each of these 5 property owners?
That would be my recommendation unless, there are other thoughts, but I think it'd be helpful to actually be clear, especially now that we're talking about making yet another kind of zoning change, and folks may not, understand how that may or may not affect them. So, but I do think having something in writing might be helpful at this point.
Okay.
Mr. Hughes? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait.
And with the rezoning of it, how does that benefit me? And why do you want to change that rezoning in just that little parcel that I own right there? There's 24 acres, I believe.
Well, the purpose of the rezoning today was, as far as the residential uses go, is to get those into a conforming status with the ordinance now, and to create a contiguous zoning district, so it's all zoned the same as the MFR zoning to the south, so that we're not leaving gaps, and so we're not creating potential spot zonings that could be problematic in the future. Regardless of whether it's zoned, your specific property, whether it's zoned B2 or MFR at this point, really doesn't impact the use of the property at all right now.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, because there's, just south of me is 7 acres that nobody lives on at all, and you're not rezoning that, and that's in the city limits. So I just wanted to know why you want to change my property.
So that property to the south is already zoned MFR. So we're not proposing any change there. We're trying to bring these parcels that have residential uses on them into alignment with that zoning to the south. So we're creating one contiguous zoning district that allows residential uses
So we're actually trying to correct, or create more of a buffer from that B2, which is out more on B Drive on the east side of 66, from the residential neighbors that are more to the south.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes, sir.
if I may, all the city ordinances are available online.
Yep, thank you, sir.
1270 discussing nonconformities. Anyone can go look at that. It's available on the city website, and it provides discussion and analysis of what a legal conforming, what's not, or what's conforming, what's legal conforming, and what it would take to change it, and how one petitions to the zoning board to seek a change. But we also, one of the goals of zoning as an overall principle is to eliminate nonconformities, or
Right.
to bring legal nonconforming parcels into conformity. And again, that's an underlying request right here.
Yes, sir.
Hi there, Jason Pierce, 1267 Capitol Avenue. I'm the son of Steve Pierce at 12535 6 Mile, which is the property just to the north of Mr. Ballard. And my father owns that and, 12601, which is the vacant parcel that Mr. Sullivan was talking about. Kind of speaking for my dad, he has Parkinson's and his voice has problems, so we had approached the city about building a home on that vacant parcel, so we appreciate you guys bringing this up in such a timely fashion. We just really wanted it to see it go to something where we could do the same type of use as what's there, and so that somebody like John could keep doing what he's doing. And from my understanding, that's exactly what you guys are saying, is that he can keep doing that, and that we would be able to now put a home on that vacant parcel that is there. And I will be inheriting my parents' entire estate, so, and the plan, it's been the plan since I was 8 years old, was to build a property next to my parents on that 20 acres, and I'm finally in a position as an adult where I can do that. We've got the money and resources to do it, so it's kind of a dream that came true. We started clearing the land, and then all of a sudden, whoops. So we're very heavily in favor of bringing this back so that residential use can be there, because my son will eventually take over their home once they have passed. So I want to thank you guys for bringing this up and let you all know that those two parcels were very much in favor of bringing it back to the MFR. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Do we know, does the City of Battle Creek utility infrastructure go up or down 6 Mile at all?
I would need to take a look at the utility map to confirm that.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
I actually heavily researched that when I found out we couldn't build, and we too did not get a notice, and I understand why. It was just a general notice in the paper. City water, city sewer, and storm sewer all stop at 6 Mile. Just branches come to facilitate Sam's, Steak and Shake, Walmart, Lowe's, Sable's. For an infrastructure to go in there, you would have to expand the road, you'd have to pull city, sewer, water, storm sewer up there, you'd have to put a stoplight. We did some research on it. You're looking in somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.5 million to get that infrastructure in there before anybody touches the land, before anybody makes an offer on our land, any improvements to our land. Somebody somewhere is shelling out $2 to $3 million to get that infrastructure in there. So, and you know, we're there all the time. My parents live there. John lives there. There's just no traffic down there. Nobody's going to go down there, especially for regional commercial. If it was regular commercial, a dentist office or something, that's even a stretch. But, you know, you're talking regional commercial, you're talking about Best Buy, Walmart, all that stuff wants to be out in the heavy traffic. That's what Beckley is for. And there's a ton of there's a ton of vacancy out there. You guys, let's push them as a city commission. Let's please push these people to vacant buildings. Let's not build new. Let's not take up new undisturbed land for commercial when we have so much availability in this city. Let's use the infrastructure we already have and bring businesses to that. So to answer that question, there's no infrastructure going up that road. There's gas, there's electric, there's not really phone. AT&T just cut my parents' landline off, so there's just gas and electric. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you to everyone who provided input. We certainly appreciate it. At this time, I'll open the floor for discussion among Planning Commission members. Are there any thoughts, questions? I will call out in our packet, the staff recommendations are on page 15. When it comes to it, for a motion, please have a specific motion to this agenda item, including your intention and any mention of any conditions. And remember, it's best practice to make the motion in the affirmative for the record.
Excuse me, sir.
Not since I've moved on, I apologize.
There's a house to the north of the vacant land, so. It's already residential right there, so. That should be factored in as well.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Move for the approval of rezoning request PRZ 25-0006 based on the findings of the staff recommendation.
It's been moved
Support.
and supported. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners?
I have a question. So we just discussed the city reaching out and notifying. Does that need to be part of the motion, or is that something the city will do as kind of a follow-up to this? I want to just make sure.
I don't think it's necessarily a condition for what we're looking at today, but we can certainly ensure that the city follows up.
Yeah, especially the ordinance that you just referenced and making
Yep.
sure folks know.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Vote.
Commissioner Godfrey?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Mayor Banky?
Yes.
Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you all for your comments. Any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the planning department. All right, moving on to the next public hearing. This is on the capital improvements program for fiscal years 2027 through 2032. Staff report.
So this is the annual public hearing that the Planning Commission hosts on the proposed upcoming capital improvement program. At the conclusion of the hearing today, the Planning Commission will be asked to make a recommendation to the City Commission.
Barb Deering, Budget Officer in the Finance Department, and Chad Frine, our IT Director. A big thank you goes out to Travis Sullivan in the Planning Department for ensuring that all the projects included in the document fit within the master plan, and to Katie Norton in our print shop for putting all the books together. The capital improvement program is a multi-year plan identifying capital projects proposed to be funded during the planning period. A capital project is undertaken to acquire or build a non-recurring, long-lived, expensive asset. This planning document represents a long-term blueprint for capital needs, prioritizing those needs with ability to pay. The approval of this document does not equal project approval or inclusion in the fiscal year budget. Limited resources continue to challenge the city to make difficult funding decisions involving the allocation of those resources between operational and capital costs. The CIP process provides a structure for developing and prioritizing the capital needs of the city. It enables policymakers to see the complete picture of the city's capital needs. It is in this spirit that this document has been developed. Whether an individual project is funded or not becomes a budgetary decision each year during the annual budget process. The CIP process provides an opportunity to study and evaluate the capital needs of the city, especially as they relate to the master plan of the city. The preparation of this document is in compliance with the Michigan Municipal Planning Commission Act, Public Act 33 of 2008 as amended, and it's a tool and resource used throughout the fiscal year. Bond rating agencies put a high value on the planning process and the document itself and regularly request a copy during their annual surveillance. This document formalizes and consolidates all of the capital improvement projects throughout all city departments and component units and provides a comprehensive summary of the capital needs of the city for the next 6 years. Details of projects for inclusion in the CIP come from the departments and component units themselves. As the needs and priorities of the community change, so too does the funding and prioritization of the capital assets. The priority-based budgeting scoring mechanism is used to score and evaluate all capital projects included in this plan. For the last 8 years that we have used the priority-based budgeting model to prioritize projects included in the CIP, only new projects have been scored against the PBB results. With the adoption of the results by the City Commission in 2021, each new project is scored by the submitting department as well as by a 7-member cross-functional review team. A consensus score is what you see in this document for all 225 projects. As an example of the priority-based budgeting scoring, you can see on page 30 of the document the surface treatment program project with a community results score of 1. That number 1 indicates the highest available score. The range is shown on page 8 of the document along with the score definitions, and the scoring range is 1 to 4. The surface treatment program project score of 1 means very relevant to achieving community results. Rubric was used by departments and our peer review team, which measured scores by result and calculated a final value that is shown on each of the projects in the CIP. The aforementioned surface treatment program project also shows a department priority 1 of 9. This means engineering, the department that submitted the project, rates this particular project first out of 9 total projects that they submitted. The summary document on pages 19 through 25 show all 225 projects with a total for the 6-year period of $390.1 million, of which $189 million are reflected as funded and $201.1 million are not. Page 25 shows the total for each of the 6 years of the plan. Please know that projects shown as funded in this document are not automatically included in the department's annual budget. There's a separate budget process that culminates in the annual adopted budget by the City Commission in June. This document is a guide and a summary of needs across the organization and not a budget document. And at this point, I'd be happy to try and answer any questions.
Yeah. Are there any questions from commissioners?
Yes, can you repeat what you said about things that say funded that are not necessarily funded? Can you please repeat that?
So the 225 projects listed in the document total about $390.1 million, of which $189 million are reflected as funded or having a funding source, and $201.1 million are not, do not have a funding source, an available funding source.
So let me probably give an example. Some on page 20, on page 28 and 29, I'm looking at the ones around the airport where it says, yes, that they are funded.
Yes.
And it has a line item for the BC TIFA.
Yes.
So the BC TIFA, though, still has to vote whether they will actually fund these, so these are not necessarily funded, or they are. That's what I just want to make.
So we're indicating that a funding source is available, not that the TIFA board has taken action to fund that specific project, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, anything that's coming from the TIFA is going to have to go back through the TIFA board as part of the budget process.
Okay. Got it.
Any further questions? Any comments? Yes, sir.
I would like to direct attention on page 29 to a project titled Housing. The city of Battle Creek has brought several experts and held workshops this past fall and early winter about housing and the need for housing. I guess I'm asking that this go forward to the City Commission with a recommendation of the Planning Council, that this actually get underway. Housing is a necessity in our community, as it is in almost every community in America these days. We have people living on the streets. There are many, as our guests have spoken at these sessions, there are many ways with small houses to accommodate them. This is brownfield redevelopment, and I just think that we need to move it off the table and get it underway as we approach housing within the city of Battle Creek. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any further comments?
Just to add to that one, I think the challenge, this is why I was asking about what's funded or not, because I don't know, for the brownfields, for example, there are line items for what I think the city would like to do, but not necessarily cash to do that. And I don't know, what might be available from the brownfields, but I don't think it's 4.5 million over the next X number of years. And I share that since I'm the chair of our Brownfields Redevelopment Authority as well. So that's why I was asking for clarification about how real some of these things are. And it's one thing to have a funding source identified. It's another thing, I think, for us to think through what does it actually take to move housing forward, for example, or any one of these projects and programs. Yeah.
Good deal. All right, any further comments? Okay. I will go to public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing no public. Commissioners, any additional comments, questions? Seeing none. I had a long list of notes. It's all good. I think this is a good CIP. I think framing it and understanding kind of what the city's focus is. There's discipline in it, and that's encouraging to me. Prioritizing the right areas, enabling the right tools that we have. It all kind of aligns planning, infrastructure, economic development all together. So this is exciting. Yes?
Do we need to vote on the meeting dates? Okay.
Oh, the meeting minutes?
The meeting dates and deadlines?
Oh, yes.
It's under new business?
We have to vote on this.
And this too? Okay.
Seeing or hearing no additional comments or questions, we can proceed to the vote.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Commission the capital improvement plan for the next 6 years for the city of Battle Creek.
It's been moved.
Second?
Supported. All right.
Was that second, Morris?
It was, yes. Commissioner Morris.
I have a clarifying question on the motion.
Yes.
So we are moving to accept the CIP or accept this for, I want to make sure I'm clear on what we're actually
We're moving it to the
on.
City Commission for them to
So we're just recommending that we're okay
Yep.
with what's in here.
So we're actually holding the public hearing for it to
That's
get
what I wanna
public
double-check.
comment. And then our motion is, or our goal is to approve to send it to the city commission
Okay.
for their consideration and final approval.
Okay.
Is that, you still look a little unclear.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the things that are funded and the way that things are written in here, and so.
Yeah, no, that's,
But I'm
and that's, I think,
struggling with that a little bit, like approving something that isn't
Yeah.
real feels a little awkward. That's
So-
what I'm stuck on right now.
I think if I could include kind of my opinion or my view of this, the capital improvements program kind of sets the tone and outlines the tools, the projects. Some things are, anticipated to be funded, but some things like the brownfield, for instance, funding comes available, there's a mechanism to fund that so we can utilize that as a tool. So it's putting those in there and scoring them differently allows us to be positioned to act on them at a later time.
Okay.
Does that help?
I'll be fine.
And there is a lot of coordination that goes into this too, in discussion amongst leaders. And as Aaron had mentioned, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So it's very focused, I feel. So there's,
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of the projects or programs. I'm stuck on whether or not by voting on this, it backs some entities into a corner by saying, just because it's in this plan, you should now approve it. And so that's what, because I serve on some of the
Yep,
entities in here,
absolutely.
my other hat said, well, if we agree to this CIP with the dollar amounts this way, in many ways, with a funding source identified, and then you've got the, organization or entity who has a whole different plan,
yeah.
then that's what I'm just wrestling with, what feels like a little bit of a disconnect.
So the recommendations for those projects is, for the Brownfield in particular,
Yeah.
those come right from BCU as
From
the
Joe.
manager of the Brownfield Authority.
Yeah.
So staff is not just pulling these projects out of thin air and including them in the report. And yeah, the thing I got to stress is it's not a budget document. I mean, we go through a whole separate budget process that, culminates in approval. So this document doesn't guarantee that that specific project gets included in the budget in that particular year. So you're not approving that this project is going to happen.
Yep, and maybe what might be helpful is more detail on the memorandum or I think maybe that's what I'm missing. I feel like this, what you said, Aaron, when you were talking about funded, I feel like that needs to be in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then maybe that's what I'm struggling with. I mean, I can work with Joe on the back end, but
Yeah.
I think I'm struggling more with you may have worked with Joe, and I'm sitting here thinking we've got multiple boards and
Right.
committees that have no visibility to this whatsoever. And I serve on 3 of them and have never, most of these projects, I've never even seen them. So that's what I'm wrestling with. I can deal with that offline. I think in the meantime, I just wonder to be clear what this is and what this isn't. It
Yeah.
might be an extra, like I said, whatever you read off about funded, not funded, what the goal of this is. It's not a budgeting document. That may not be clear on the upfront part as it goes to the city commission and to the broader public, so.
Sure.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? All right, it's been moved and supported. Let's vote.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Mayor Banky,
Yes.
Commissioner Godfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison.
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you all. That concludes the public hearings. Any old business?
No old business?
New business, we do have the 2026 meeting dates and deadlines.
So this is your typical set of meeting dates and deadlines. Planning Commission continues to be set for the 4th Wednesday of each month, with the exception of November and December, because I'm guessing nobody wants to meet the day before Thanksgiving or on Christmas Eve, so we've moved those back a week. Just one small thing to note, we have moved the petition deadlines back about 2 days versus what we would typically do, given the fact that the shopper has moved its deadline for publication. So that gives us a couple of extra days of buffer so that when we receive an application, we have ample time to make sure we get a publication together and over. So other than that, there's nothing else on there to note that is any different than what your normal schedule looks like.
Awesome. Any questions, comments? We do have to approve this. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions, comments? Let's vote. I guess I could.
Mayor Banky,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Godfrey, Commissioner Godfrey,
Yes.
and Commissioner Dennison.
Yes.
All right. Meeting dates have been approved. Any public comment? Seeing no public. Thank you again, Aaron. Any comments by staff and commissioners?
I just want to thank everyone for their service on the past year on the Planning Commission, especially the latter part of the year. It seems like we had a lot of meetings and we had some really good turnout, so
Yeah,
we appreciate it, and I'm sure the people of Battle Creek appreciate it.
thank you. Patrick, did I hear you?
Yes, I was going to say, similar to Mayor, great work on the public coming out and showing what government can do. The last couple meetings we've had, some issues, and especially even today with this allowing people to come forward and allow to express themselves and understand what we do as a planning commission. And then I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Yes?
I am blinded by the light right now.
You're shining.
This is crazy, but I did just want to wish everybody a happy holidays. It's a pleasure to work with all of you.
I would like to give a very special thank you to Commissioner Godfrey. I was made aware today that this is his last meeting, and I do believe it's been 23 years, so thank you very much, sir. It's nearly as long as I've been alive, so I am very encouraged by that. Thank you all. That concludes today's meeting.